My name's Julia Jett, and I do Hypnosis for Freedom. So a little bit of my history is I used to hop trains. I used to live in the park. I used to sleep outside. I definitely got screwed over on some trim jobs. I'm sure nobody here has any experience of any of these things. And the thing is I didn't understand that there was another way of life. I was doing exactly what I was programmed to do. And I couldn't see a way out, even if I wanted to find a way out. And I won't stand here and tell you that hypnosis is the only thing I've done. I mean, I have 5 years clean, thank you recovery, and I work with outside help. But using hypnosis, I've really been able to pinpoint things like self-doubt, confidence, and public speaking. So I work with ambitious nonconformists who really want to be able to get themselves out there, and they're tired of being stuck in self-doubt, sick of always having to ask somebody else, am I doing the right thing? Do you like how this looks? Is my hair good? Oh goodness, should I rent the space? Should I not rent the space? Or the clients like it? Should I post this? Should I not post this? All of these questions that, especially as entrepreneurs, we might ask ourselves when we stop listening to our inner wisdom. And so what I've realized is through growing rapport and creating a real connection with my unconscious mind, I've been able to really move past some of these pain points that I was experiencing. For example, just with the unconscious mind alone, that part of our mind it's storing memories for us, and it's preserving us, it's keeping us safe. And when our unconscious mind is preserving us and keeping us safe, sometimes that can cause us to self-sabotage. It can cause us to have limiting beliefs. Sometimes it keeps us safe when it's storing memories by not actually sharing them with us. Sometimes our unconscious mind is repressing memories from us. And you know what? That's just its way of protecting us. I'm not sure if maybe you have that experience of having a memory that you don't really have. Maybe somebody else told you about it. But still, you know what? It's in there and it's running the show. If we're not consistently upgrading the programming in our minds, it's possible that we could just have our minds run by a scared 8-year-old. So it's important for us to just continue this forward motion and movement. Goodness. So when it stores memories and when it's preserving us, sometimes what happens is we get this self-sabotage. And I think self-sabotage is a really interesting thing because, why would I want to self-sabotage? I've seen this meme, on Instagram or whatever, and it's like, I really fear having $1 million. It's like if you fear something, it's going to come for you. So I really fear having $1 million. Sadly, that's just not how it works. Because you probably don't fear having the $1 million, but there might be some limiting beliefs from the way you were raised. Perhaps there's a belief that if you have $1 million, your friends won't like you anymore. Or if you have $1 million, you'll have to work really hard for it. You won't get that time with your family. You won't get that time with your friends because you're too busy working for that $1 million. Or maybe you're so scared of having $1 million because maybe you think you'll be alone, So the thing is once we tap into that unconscious belief and make it conscious, that's where we can create change. And I want to also just say a little thing about trauma here, because I certainly carry my fair share of trauma. And I know that when we remember trauma, and this is one of the differences between what I do and what a therapist does, and if you want to see a therapist, please do. I have a therapist. I love her. But the thing for me is I use hypnosis to pinpoint different parts that I want to grow. So the difference between what I do and what a therapist does is with a therapist, you sit there and you go through your life story. Maybe you go through some of the most traumatic events you've ever experienced. And the thing is when we talk about trauma, when we think about a traumatic event, we're reliving that again in our unconscious mind. And our mind doesn't know the difference between something that happened once to us and something that's happening in the moment. And so when we are remembering a traumatic event, or when we are thinking about it, when we're talking about it, our body's experiencing it in the exact same way. And for me, that is why time doesn't heal. It's a change of perspective that does. And so what I do is I don't even touch trauma. You know, you can have a traumatic event that maybe caused a line of anger, or it's like a line of sadness or a line of fear that's still affecting you to this day. But you don't actually have to drop into that moment to heal it. If your unconscious mind is experiencing that trauma, it's whatever your unconscious mind believes it is. That means that it's possible that this trauma could have happened to you in a past generation. It could have happened to you in a past life. And people ask me, they're like, a past life? You know, how do I even know if that's real? It doesn't matter. If your unconscious mind believes that something happened to you, it's real in your unconscious mind, and that's what needs to be healed. And the way that I work with that is by staying really far back, because the important thing isn't to get back into that moment, get back into the pain, but we cycle through this pain. The pain cycle goes over and over and over again. I don't know if anybody's ever looped and had an obsession and been really, really upset over it. But once we get the learnings, once we get the positive learnings that we can pull, that's when the loop stops. That's when we're able to really move forward and grow into our next level. You know, that's really all I have.